All right. Welcome back to our special Election Day coverage. I have my co-host Dave joining us again for our second segment. So thanks for joining me, Dave. So now we're going to discuss the current issues, and I'm sure everyone can agree they were hardly touched on, really. I mean, we saw they had three debates, one vice presidential debate. It was mostly bickering, in my opinion, on I wouldn't say unnecessary stuff, but after a while, I mean, the emails, the tape that was released about Trump saying those derogatory things, I mean, yes, they're major things, but at the same time, how much does the American people want to hear about that? So in case are wondering, I pulled up a couple of issues from procon.org, and on the issue of crime and justice, should the death penalty be allowed? Both Clinton and Trump support it, which is I was kind of surprised because aren't the Democrats usually against that?
Uh,
I think I mean because I know it's really I think in each party there's different opinions on the issue. There's no real set opinion. I think.
I'm just gonna don't mind me chiming in really quick. Thank you,
Sure,
Matt, again for allowing me to come on, talk with you today.
of course.
People, Facebook, what up? That question is interesting about the death penalty because isn't it allowed in a few states? There is a few states that still use the death penalty. And I think it's kind of funny because you were surprised to read Clinton is for the death penalty, but we've also seen in the past the Clintons have a track history of when people who go against them or
Hmm.
were in support and then back out, they somehow magically end up passing away from many different ways, different methods. Oh, he dropped the weight in his neck. Of course he did. The day before he was supposed to testify. So it's, I guess that's why I'm not so surprised that she's for it.
Yeah.
But I get you're 100% right. A lot of big topics were not talked about. There was a lot of little bickering, little stupid things, in my opinion, that we were talking about.
Yeah.
For instance, I guess some people maybe this is important too, but the whole idea of abortion. Um, I tell you my view right now. It's if you're gonna allow it, you can allow it in certain situations. I have no
Yeah.
issue with that.
I
Don't make
agree.
me pay for it
Yeah. No, I mean because it's abortion has been an issue that has been debated
forever.
since like at least since the 60s, if not before that.
And the idea is, listen, if you want it, if you want to allow it, sure. It's not my job to pay for it. It is that individual's.
Yeah.
Unless, as I mentioned, certain situations, if the
If
female
someone
is assaulted,
Yeah, yeah.
then that obviously she should be allowed if she wants to have an abortion because like obviously she wasn't planning on having a child.
Right.
If it's threatening the life, okay, I don't mind if that kind of stuff I have to pay for it. But
Yeah.
if your cousin and her boyfriend were being stupid and didn't use protection, no, that don't.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Don't pay for it. Why
Yeah.
should I be paying for your
Yeah.
stupidity?
No, yeah, I just pulled up the map on. We were saying before that that both candidates are pro the death penalty, and New York and a lot of the northeastern states are have abolished the death penalty. Texas has had more than five executions in the last 8 years.
But like that's not to sound weird, like cruel, but that's nothing. Five.
Yeah.
You're telling me five executions in the last 8 years. So we're talking 62, 0.62 of a person a year.
Yeah.
0.65. I guess I had a triple homicide in my town about now. It's got to be 10 years, 10 years, 11 years, and the victims were assaulted. There's two men. They tied the mom and the two daughters down, assaulted them over and over, then
Wow.
lit the house on fire and burned them alive. Now, a lot of people were calling for, in Connecticut, we don't have the death penalty, but a lot of people were calling for, they should be put to death. And no, it's not. It's doing that's not good because they're not going to suffer. They're going to sit in jail for the rest of their life. But then again, at the end of the day, we are paying for that. And I'm not gonna lie, it may sound weird, but my town actually has a state prison, federal prison. Like, it's a high up, like the worst of the worst people go to this prison in my state, in Connecticut. And the idea is, you want to give a guy 80 years for life, or give him whatever 12 life sentences, which whatever that means. I mean, it just sounds stupid at that point.
I always, sorry, not to cut you off, but I always think when a criminal or whoever is sentenced, how do they come up with 154 years in prison? Why not just say life in prison without the possibility of parole?
Or they say 12 life sentences. What does that mean? They're gonna live. It's one. Just say they're in for life. It sounds stupid, and maybe there's gotta be a reason, a law to reason that we don't know why, Matt. But it's like, that sounds stupid. For starters, but if you want to, you want to put in there for the next. Say this guy is one of the guys was like 25 when he did this horrible act.
Yeah.
So he's in the first of his life. Say he's in there probably for the next 50. I could bank 50 years. Say this guy lives till 75. 50 years. So for the next 50 years, we the people are paying for all of his luxuries. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds really weird when I'm gonna say this, but have you ever seen the show Jail? These guys I think about this. If you were a homeless person, I would purposely get myself arrested because I get one of three things. I get shelter, I'd get food, and I get a bed.
Right.
So if you're saying, it sounds horrible, but people in prison are treated better than our military.
I know. And
it's a joke because it's like these guys are in jail for doing horrific crimes. So I'm not saying they kill every single one of them. No. But in certain instances, when you have a man who takes the lives of multiple individuals,
right,
why should they be allowed to sit in a jail cell? Oh, they rot in a jail cell. Do they? Do they really rot in a jail cell? I really want to question, do they really rot? Because last I checked, they get 3 meals a day. They have a nice warm bed. They can go do activities, play sports.
Yeah.
And they can go lift weights. They can do service things. So that really, is it all that bad?
Right.
And we're paying for it. So maybe in certain scenarios, when you have an individual who decides to be a psychotic or a psychopath, they shouldn't be allowed. They should not be the chance, because at the end of the day, he's been in for 30 years. You know what? Maybe we should look into possibly letting him get early parole. No. If you're killing people, I don't care if you're killing people. Either you don't get out of prison ever, or you shouldn't be allowed to ever interact with people again, because that's just you're not fit to live in society. If you think it's okay to just go kill people.
Also, death penalty cases are very hard to, like, when someone is sentenced to death, it's not instant, because all death penalty cases are automatically appealed. That's just the way it is. So people are on death row for years, and unless say they're wrongly convicted and they get some sort of innocence project to help them prove their case, it's tough. It's tough, and it's about, I'd say, looking at this map, it's kind of mixed where the states stand. Actually, when I was watching Good Morning America this morning, and they said in California there's a proposition up for a vote whether to abolish the death penalty. And looking at this map, there's been no executions in the last 8 years. You had San Bernardino this past year. Very unfortunate terrorist attack. Those, I think, did they kill themselves?
Yes, he was killed.
Yeah. Yes.
If he wasn't, though,
Yeah.
there's the point I'm trying to make. If he wasn't killed, are we really gonna let this guy who's attacking, and it happens to be in all these terrorist attacks? I don't think anyone's ever actually survived. Most of these mass shootings, the person kills themselves because they're too much of a coward to get caught, which is why I have a problem. If you're gonna enact in these events, don't be so much of a coward to kill yourself. But if you're gonna do that, know what?
Yeah.
Then you should, and you get taken in. Oh, for instance, even out of San Bernardino, let's go do the New York bombings. How they got Rahimi. I guess he didn't kill anyone. But he acted, so he'll be in jail for the rest of his life. But say he killed 20 people. Say that
Yeah.
yes, what they should do is get whatever information they have from him, and then what they should do is he shouldn't be allowed to just be ever put in a situation because he's a terrorist.
No, I agree, and the whole case of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect, Massachusetts doesn't have the death penalty, so he's sentenced to life in prison. He's obviously not going to get parole because of it's a terrorist.
He better not be getting life parole. But you know what? I've heard crazier stories where they start off as that, and then they break a deal, and it's a joke because it's like, no, you just like what you did is so bad,
right?
You shouldn't be able to get out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the candidates' stances on the death penalty. Also, this is another issue, and Trump has come out repeatedly to say that the system is rigged, meaning the electoral process and the popular vote in general. So I have right now on procon.org, one of the questions they asked was, should felons who have completed their sentences, this could mean anything, incarceration, probation, parole, be allowed to vote? And Clinton has supported that, and Trump is he never took a stance on that. But I mean, in my opinion, and I don't really give my opinion much, but I mean, they've paid their debt to society. In terms of, on probation, incarcerated, on parole, as long as they're not in jail, then I kind of think they should be able to. What do you think about that, Dave?
They should or should? What did you say? You said they should?
I think they should be. I mean,
I have no issue with them with that.
Yeah.
If you were incarcerated because of smoking marijuana and you do your time and you want to vote, I mean, I can't tell you no, you don't have the right to vote. It's interesting. I'm actually on World USA right now. It's live. They're doing likes and favorites or likes and hearts for the presidential candidate, and as it's going live as of right now, as of what time is it?
As of 10:40.
10:40. Clinton's sitting at 96,000 in counting. Thumbs up, where Trump's at 105,000 hearts on however you heart someone on Facebook. I'm not sure with that, but it's just interesting. I'm watching and seeing people's comments and how it's interesting. People just say, some people just say stupid things. Some people just say Clinton, say Trump. They say, they hate both. It's interesting to just see how that's going. But we will kind of keep that up, Matt. I don't know if you want to. You can always pull it up like every hour and see how people are reacting on world news as they're running live.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of the day, people don't realize, especially us, the millennials,
right.
Very important. We are very important. We're going to end up, my opinion, we're determining this election. Yeah. And I know most of us are a large population of millennials. We're Sanders supporters. Different multitudes of Sanders supporters. I know a lot of us will now go vote for Clinton. It's just a known fact.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested for these Sanders supporters. We're talking about the diehard Sanders who were up or who cannot stand Clinton. Are you gonna? Would you ever go into Trump and support him? I mean, yes, you can go do Stein or Gary Johnson, but I think personally, I've watched videos of both of them, and they're both so unqualified to be the president. I mean, Jill Stein's she's a doctor, but then she says, I am against practicing medicine. Yeah. So that makes me question, you're a doctor. What? Like, you don't make sense.
Yeah.
That's just again, what? It's like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
And anyone knows who she is. She says she's Indian. She says she's Native American Indian. She's not Native American Indian. There is zero backing up that claim.
Yeah.
And it's like if I guess even if Hillary Clinton said that, people would be like, what? But I know if Trump said that, they would actually attack him. I watched everything else about Dave Chappelle because Dave Chappelle made a comment about how he backed up something Trump said. Now Chappelle was not saying he's a Trump supporter, but he backed up something Trump said because he goes that's true.
Yeah.
And the media took what he said like, oh, Chappelle is supporting Trump. Chappelle's the biggest Trump supporter, and he's like, no, I'm not. He says, I hate both candidates. He goes, at my stand-up comedy, you can ask me. I made fun of Trump. I made fun of Clinton. And that's the thing with the issue with the media. The media is so skewed and just tells it, they spin everything their own way, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
People, if you don't pay attention, which a lot of kids haven't, a lot of people haven't. You just have to, if you turn on the news, you just will, okay. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this, but you would vote Clinton because the news tells you to vote Clinton. It's one of those. It's so skewed. It needs to be fixed.
I agree, and I know some people that they didn't get their papers in to like re-register in this state, and it's just I don't know. They had time to do it. I mean, they had all year, but they just didn't, and they're not going to vote, which is a shame. I mean, because this is definitely an election going in the books. But that's all we have for this segment, and we'll be back in a little while on some more developments. So thanks for joining us.
And I was supposed to say the last thing, so I meant to cut you short, but I want to say thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course.
I will be on. I'll probably come back later around some time. I don't know exactly what time. I know Matt will be here most of the day.
Yeah.
But I'll come back later. We'll kind of, once we start seeing more of how this election is unfolding and how we're starting to see where votes are going, then we can kind of talk about that. But thank you for hosting me, Matt.
Oh, of course. And we'll see you a little later on. So thanks again for joining me, and we'll be back in a little while. Thank you.